You have reached Red Steele's Toy Collector Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing Transformers Legacy Evolution Insecticon Bombshell. Transformers Legacy Evolution Insecticon Bombshell. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front here, you have the display window showing you both the figure and all of its accessories inside. In the corner here, you have the 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. The other corner here, you have the Takara Tomy Transformers Generations logo. Along the side here, it says Transformers. In the middle here, you have this beautiful illustration of Bombshell in his insect mode. Over here it says Insecticon Bombshell. Below of that you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo. In the corner here you have the little Hasbro emblem. And down here it says that it is a deluxe class figure. Then on top of the packaging here, you have this QR code. And once you scan this QR code, it takes you to a website where you can read Bombshell's tech specs. Down inside the package here, you have a beautiful profile picture of Bombshell in his robot mode. On the other side of the packaging here, you have this beautiful montage of all the Transformers and Legacy Evolution, starting with Optimus Prime. And over here you have Laser Optimus Prime. Below that you have Hotshot. Here you have Tarn. Then over here you have a group of Insecticons, and below that you have a group of Junkions. Over here you have the Transformers Authentic logo, and below all of that, again, you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo. The back of the packaging here, you have all of the figures features, such as Bombshell in his robot mode, and Bombshell in his Beetle mode. Then up here you have a combination of all three of his weapons for the Evo Fusion mode. Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Insecticon Bombshell. Bombshell was released on September 22nd, 2023 with the suggested retail price of $24.99, and he's available at all major retailers. Bombshell was released along with the other Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Wave 4 figures, Detritus, Shadow Striker, and Strong Arm. Bombshell is a Generation 1 inspired figure that converts into his Beetle mode in 13 steps. His accessories include his 3 blasters and instructions. Bombshell stands 6 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Next, I'll go ahead and convert Bombshell from his robot mode all the way to his Beetle mode. But the first thing you always want to do before you transform any of your Transformers, you want to move any of their weapons. So I'm going to go take his blaster, put it off to the side. Because the first step of the transformation, you're going to want to take his fist and rotate it into his forearm. His forearms are hollowed out, so you go ahead and you push him in just like that. Go on the other side, take his fist, rotate it in just like that. Step number 2, you want to take Bombshell, turn him all the way around. Because each one of his shoulders is in like a butterfly joint. You want to go ahead and take the shoulder, bring it in just like that, kind of tap it into place, bring it in just like that. Step number 3, you want to take these forearms, you want to turn them out so the peg is facing up, just like that. Do that to the other side, take that forearm, turn it so the peg is facing out, just like that. Step 4, you want to turn Bombshell all the way around. You got this antenna on the top of his head. You got a tab right there. In front of his chest, you got a little porthole. You want to bring that piece right over his face, tab it in place just like that. Step number 5, he has a little antenna on the top of his head. You want to go ahead and extend it straight, just like that. In step number 6, you got this bottom half of Bombshell. You want to go and rotate it around, just like that. In step number 7, you want to turn Bombshell all the way around again. Back to the front of the legs, or back to the legs, whatever you want to call it at this point in time. These panels on the leg. I'm going to open these panels up just like that. The panel, open it up just like that. In step number 8, well, the Bombshell now, you get these feet right here. I'm gonna flip them down just like that, and just like that. Step number 9, we're going to take the thigh piece, you want to collapse it into the leg, but it's a little bit tricky. You have to bend it right there, there's a hinge joint right there. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and turn it in, bend it into place just like that. You get to the other side, gotta bend it, and turn it just like that. For step 10, you got these 2 leg pieces right there in the middle. There's a couple tabs and portholes. Just want you to go ahead and snap everything into place just like that. In step 11, we'll turn Bombshell over. Get a couple tabs right there and right there. Just want you to go and push it towards the body. Puts right into place just like that. Now in step 12, you want to flip Bombshell over. On the inside of his forearms, there's a little slotted peg right there and right there. A couple portholes right there and right there. So I want to bring these arms down so they peg right in place just like that. Peg in place just like that. For Bombshell's 13th and final step, I'm going to flip them over. At the bottom, he has 2 little portholes right there and right there. I'm going to go grab one of his blasters right here. You got a peg right there. I'll plug that right into his porthole, just like that. Kind of acts like a little leg right here. Go ahead and grab that other blaster and plug it in the other porthole, just like that. And now you have Bombshell in his full beetle. Now that Bombshell in his beetle mode and on my display table, just want to go over some of his play features and accessories, first by talking about his blaster. And according to the instructions, the way to arm Bombshell while he's in his insect mode with this blaster. Because the bottom of this blaster here is a 5mm peg. On the back of Bombshell, you have 2 5mm portholes. You can plug this blaster in either one of those portholes, and now you have Bombshell armed in his insect mode. It's kind of a nice play feature, but personally, being a G1 purist, I'm not a big fan of arming my Transformers while they're in our alt mode. And an alt mode is the alternate mode of any of the Transformers, like, you know, a lot of Transformers transform into jets or cars or insects. That's considered your alt mode. So I'm going to put that off to the side. So I want to go over some of the details for Bombshell, and I'm very, very blown away about how nicely done Bombshell is. I mean, a very, very close nod to the Generation 1 toy. I mean, they even molded that detail where you get the simulated hinge joint. This compartment does not open, but the original Generation 1 toy did. They had this little hinge joint, and they actually animated that as part of the animated model from Generation 1 cartoon series and the movie. But this does not open, but but the original toy did, which I do have on hand to do a side-by-side comparison. And then a lot of the stick details kind of flowing off. And this is actually the reissue that came out in early 2000s by Hasbro. And I believe this might have been a Toys R Us exclusive. It came in a 3-pack. I do have my original Generation 1 Bombshell, but I'm not using it for this review only because I bought it second hand and the stickers were already applied and they're not applied correctly. In order for me to do this review, I want to have the reissue because I applied the stickers myself and I applied them correctly according to the instructions, because a lot of the paint detail here carried over from the sticker detail from the original Generation 1 toy, and that's why I'm using this version of Bombshell instead of my original Generation 1. It's nicely done though. And as you can see, even that painted stripe right here and this painted detail right here, that was ported over from these sticker details. Really nicely done. And the thing about the original Generation 1 toy is, and I mentioned this many times when I do a side-by-side comparison, was they took the alt modes and they engineered the robot from the alt modes. Well, with newer Transformer toy lines like Legacy, War for Cybertron Studio Series, they went based off the animated model of the robot mode. So they took the animated model from Generation 1 cartoon series and Transformers the movie, they engineered the alt mode from that model. And that's why you have more of a cartoon accurate robot mode. And sometimes the alt modes suffer, but with this figure it does not. Because, you know, that blaster detail right here, during the transformation, actually was a simulated leg, which ported over from the Generation 1 toy because you already had that molded detail on the forearm right here. You have these little blasters right here that don't come off because they're molded on. And they give you the option because the animated model from the cartoon series, he didn't have these blasters attached to his forearm. But these are a very important part of his transformation because they are part of the Beetle's leg, as you can see. Really nicely done. They did not put the wheels on the bottom of the Beetle, which I do appreciate. they looked very accurate, cartoon accurate. Very nicely done. But the one detail I'm a little disappointed about that didn't port over from the Generation 1 is that I love that back seal that they use a lot with the older Transformer lines. Instead, they did a metallic silver paint, which is nice because it does have that luster to it when you shine to a light in certain angles. And as I mentioned earlier on, you had this compartment right here, that hinge that was ported over from the toy. I mean, you can't really, it's not really profound on the Generation 1 toy, but it was in the animated version of Bombshell. But as I mentioned, it opens up because this Beetle is actually ported over from Japan from a toy line called Diaclone. And the little pilots that man these little robots. Well, when they got licensed and brought over to the United States, they got brought in as Transformers, where they were sentient beings, where they didn't require pilots. So the compartment still opened up. A lot of the toys, they just didn't include the pilots. But other than that, Bombshell was really nicely done. I'm very happy with it. I like the fact that the antenna kind of goes up and down. A lot of points of articulation for this Beetle. Got this leg that goes up and down. Really nicely done. I'm going to go rotate around so you guys can see what it looks like from all angles. It's just a fantastic figure, and I highly recommend him. And I am just happy that they finally completed the trio of Insecticons. Now you have Kickback from Legacy. You have Shrapnel from Evolution also, and now you have Bombshell. Now that Bombshell in his robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First by talking about his blaster. According to the instructions, there's a way to arm Bombshell while he's in his robot mode with this blaster. As part of this blaster, you have a 5mm peg right there. Each one of his fists is a 5mm porthole. You just plug that blaster in either one of his fists, and now you have Bombshell armed with his blaster. The next accessory I'm going to talk about are these two little black appendage blasters. Each one of these blasters has a peg right there, and they're 5mm pegs also. When you go and you take Bombshell's blaster, on either side of his blaster is a 5mm porthole right there and right there. You take those little black blasters and you plug them right in the portholes just like that. So you take that peg, put it right in that porthole, and now you have that Evolution gimmick with this blaster, which is a triple barrel blaster now. It's a cool play feature. I know it's meant for the kids, but it's just, I'm a big G1 purist, and he didn't have this feature, so I'm probably not going to display him with this function right here. But it's really cool. I think it adds a little bit of play value to this figure, and this figure is a really nice figure. I mean, if you pick this up for your kid, I encourage it because it's a great figure. And it carried on past generations. I mean, the original Generation 1 Bombshell came out almost 40 years ago. I'll go ahead and unpeg that because, to me, if you're a big fan of the Generation 1 toy, you remember that when I transformed them earlier, these things were on the bottom of his form. And when I showed you the other version of Bombshell, the Generation 1 version of Bombshell, he had molded detail where the blasters were actually molded to his form. Well, they actually left that feature on with this version of Bombshell. It's really cool. So if you want to display him where he's more Generation 1 toy accurate, you can actually plug those blasters right into the back of his forearms, just like that, and give him this blaster. And now you have more of a Generation 1 toy accurate Bombshell right here, which I do have on hand, do a side-by-side comparison. And if you're a kid of the 80s, you had to own one of these Insecticons because they're very affordable. And I actually have my original box, which is crazy here. And as you can see, the price tag says $4.97, which is wild for a Generation 1 toy. And I do have my original Bombshell, which I purchased this one secondhand. Unfortunately, when I mentioned it earlier on, when I was wanting to do a side-by-side comparison with the original Bombshell, the issue I had was the stickers weren't applied correctly. And I mean, like right here, so I couldn't really do an accurate side-by-side comparison because I wanted to show you how some of the sticker details carried over to some of the paint detail. Well, they applied some of the stickers were incorrectly with my version of Bombshell, the original Generation 1 toy. I mean, it's in great shape, the joints are tight. I just couldn't do a side-by-side comparison because, because of the application of the stickers. But when you look at the reissue from the early 2000s, I mean, it's very accurate. Some of the plastic detail, the colors for the plastic might be a little bit off. But I mean, other than that, it's just an accurate translation over Generation 1 reissue toy. So that's why I'm using it as more of my comparison for side-by-side comparison for this review. But the one thing I do like about the original Generation 1 toy is the back metal detail. And that's the only thing that I would give over the Legacy version of Bombshell. But even so, with some of the detail here, you got like this antenna right here that was kind of molded out of like a silver plastic. It had like speckles in it where it kind of lusters. So when certain angles of the light, it kind of shines. Same for the blaster. I mean, you had a dull gray mold detail for a lot of the other parts, but that's more to make it more cartoon accurate. I'm gonna go put this off to the side because I'm more of a G1 purist than the animated show. So when I display my figures, I like to make them look like what they look like in the cartoon series. So this is Bombshell, and I actually have all 3 Insecticons found. So let me go ahead and bring out. Oops, I brought Scourge. You know. Well, you got Kickback right here, which came out in the very beginning of Legacy, and now you have Shrapnel, who also came out during Legacy too. And he came out sooner or closer to Bombshell, so you'll see like a lot of the paint schemes and a lot of the plastic detail matches a little bit closer to these 2 figures. This one came out a little bit earlier, so you'll notice like some of the purple's darker and some of the grays. You got like a translucent wing plastic. So like, I mean, if this figure came out recently, we probably would have molded the wings out of the same detail they did with the antennas for Shrapnel. But they did that weird thing, the clear wings, and some of the details a little bit off. I mean, even with the blaster right here, you get a little bit of different detail. Because I think they were going in a different direction when Legacy came out, but by the time these 2 figures came out, they took to more of the animated model from the Generation cartoon series, and kind of went back to that. That's what the fans did. They want more cartoon accurate toys. So maybe they'll release Kickback later on with the right type of wings. Other than that, having all 3 Insecticons, that's really cool. I'm going to work these around so you guys can see what they look like all together. All 3 of them finally side by side. I really dig. I've been waiting for this opportunity for years to do this. Because Legacy's been out for quite a while now, almost 3 years now. And I'm happy to see it come full circle. I'm going to put Shrapnel and Kickback off to the side. But if you guys found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and also click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Steele's Toy Club review. I'll check you guys out next time.